Hi, welcome to Don's Workshop. Today I'm going to talk about a project I've been working on. So, over the past year, I've been getting more Lego. And at first started trying to sort it by 3D printing some storage. Now I found these Gridfinity containers that I decided to make. There was one with the hex design that seemed to be pretty good for storing larger bricks, and then I could use just the standard smaller one to store the smaller ones, the ones that might fall through the holes here. So I printed out these in a bunch of different colors, and we sorted them out and sorted out pieces and started storing pieces. And it's for my daughter to be able to find pieces a little easier and take them out off the shelf in already ready to go. So print this base, and then we just put them on here, put them on the shelf, take them off, take the pieces out, and be able to build. Well, now that we've got so many pieces, this has kind of became these containers. Some of them are too small for getting the pieces that we have, and we've been getting pieces off the Pick-a-Brick wall at the Lego store, so we've been getting quite a few pieces this year. And since Pick-a-Brick wall really is the best deal. If you can get to the Pick-a-Brick wall, it's a great deal for getting lots of different pieces of Lego anyway. So tried this, and now it's kind of become unwieldy. So I decided I needed to design my own storage system. So one of the other things I wanted to do is I was wanting to see, can you send some of these to my relatives, and I was going to pack them up and see what I could do. And these don't, because they stack, they don't go inside each other very well. You can put these ones in here, but they don't stack. So sending these you end up with a big container and a lot of empty space for the most part. It's not heavy, it's just takes up a lot of space. So one of the things is I want to have containers that were going to be stacked within each other, and see how that would go. So I started with my container. So this was the container I came up with. Just a large, mostly square, but I angled the sides so that when you have multiple of these, they'll stack inside each other. It's works very good. And then I wanted to be able to make compartments, but I can't print the compartments in to start with, because if they're in there, then you can't stack them. So I decided to make dividers. Now I started off with designing just a main divider that would go across. Now my idea was that, so I put these notches in there, and the notches were just going to fit these dividers. Now, after testing this initially, the notches weren't going to hold enough, so I needed to put little hooks on them to hold in. And the idea is that you want to be able to print it without having a bunch of support structure. So I was trying to make it so everything just printed up and not have to have support structure, and a very simple print, and not waste too much filament on support, as well as having to take the support off. That takes a lot of extra effort. So I tried something where I was going to have one that would go across, and then two half pieces that would be able to fit together within this main piece, so you could have a half and a quarter. And trying these, it sort of works, but it just doesn't stay very well enough. This one piece just isn't good enough. So I decided to just go with, it's going to be quarters, or you either have quarters, halves, or the whole thing. So you can just put in one of these. So I made the little notches to hold the piece in. So I have this without the edge, and I've made the little extra notch on there so that it will hold in. So by putting it in there, it just kind of holds it in there, and you have it on each side, and it holds it in there pretty good because they're angled. It's not too bad, so it's in there pretty good. And then I decided to make the full piece that goes across with the slot in it, and I put this little support as well that just kind of helps them stay in the middle. So put that in, and then the notches also, they hold in here, and then it actually holds pretty good. So it's been pretty effective. I made a slight design when I was designing it, when I made the planes on this in Fusion 3D. I made a mistake on flipping it, and it's like a 0.6 millimeter difference between where the notches are on one side to the other side. I can guess which side goes where, but for the most part, they'll work either way. So that's where I got with these drawers. So these seem to work pretty good. I've already replaced a bunch of these with the bigger containers, but I needed a place to put these in. And the idea with these drawers is I already had an idea for how I turn them into, or these containers would turn them into drawers. So I finally put together my drawer design. I finally got that figured out to try to test print it and see what it would look like. So I put this together and printed this. So I had these angle pieces. Now I put the full this in here just to see how that would fit and how it would print. Because I don't know if I need these, and I ideally don't want these. I just want to be able to use the angled pieces here to be able to print or to hold the shelf up, or the drawer in. So the sides printed very nice and solid with the extra pieces there, and I put little notches to pull it out. But these sides started bowing. I haven't seen this before to this extent. They really bowed out a lot. And it did it on all the internal structures as well. So the drawer goes in, but it's not, it's a little tight to get the drawer in because of that, because of the bowing, but they do go in. So I got the measurements right now. I'm trying on the angle, but I do realize I don't really need those because it is nice and tight. It's nice and it fits really well, so I don't think I'll need that. Now I did make a mistake when I adjusted this. I had these down further, these angle pieces. I had them down further in the design, and I did an initial print, and I decided to move these up after that print to save a little bit of time, because the further down, then it was taking more time. That was a mistake because I forgot I needed them further down because I have the notches, and these stick out just a little bit. So I can't slide this in with this in. So I have to correct that. I have to move these back down. And then I need to, what I'm going to do, which I haven't done yet, the next part is I want to cut this out like so, and try to see if that's going to work. Now, because I have this and these are bowing, plan is to try to maybe cut this and see how that works. And then if that works okay, then I'll probably put it in the 3D print design first, and then also try to cut this. I'm not sure how I'm going to cut this right now. since it is everything. I found that 1.2 millimeters seems to be about right for strength. So everything's about 1.2 millimeters thickness for this plastic on all of these containers and the shelf structure. So it's going to be a bit difficult to cut through that with just scissors or anything like that. So I'm probably gonna have to saw it. I might have to use a Dremel and see if I can get all the layers cut like that. If it's too much of a pain, I might just decide to print. But the other thing that was a mistake on this, so I don't know if it's the filament I was using on this, because I got some different filament for this, but it did warp a little bit more than I like to. It lifted off the bed a little bit, so that is unfortunate. But one of the things I did fillets on the corners, and I did a fillet on the corner on these corners, which turned out to not be very good. You can see light through them. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Yeah, so the inside fillets I couldn't get an inside fillet up there because of some of the other fillets that I put on here. So I'm gonna just probably remove that from the back, because just so it isn't showing. So that is where I have left off with my project for some Lego storage. Anyway, if you would like to hear more about that, I'll maybe put that in the comments. I'm still working on this, but I think these work pretty good. They stack nicely. They are 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters and 5 centimeters high. So that fits nicely on the bed of the most 3D printers. And then this is because I printed like this. So this is on the bottom. I decided to make it 3. I was going to try to make it just 1 and have them like connect. Going back to my idea of like being able to put them in the mail. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'm going to try doing the cutting and see if I can print it like with 3. It might be possible to fit 4 shelves on the printer, but I'll try this again. And then of course this is a little bit bigger to fit the shelves. I've added like some measurements about usually the 1.2 millimeter thickness around on the height, probably times 4, right? So 4.8. So it's a little bit bigger. And yeah, so that is actually, it's for the most part, it's worked pretty good. I just need to make some adjustments to this shelf. And then I think I will have a good way of storing the Lego, because so far it worked quite well having this with the dividers, putting the pieces in, and that's been good. So I want to do some more of that and start printing off some of the shelves, because right now we're just stacking them for the drawers. Right now we're just stacking them on a shelf, and I'd like to get the drawers working so that it's a lot easier to take a drawer out and not have the same problem we're having all these stacked. Because right now these are stacked pretty high on the shelf, and it makes it more difficult to take them out and use them. And I don't, yeah, so I'm hoping that'll work out, and it should be interesting. Anyway, if you're interested in more of this, please subscribe. I'll follow up with where I'm at on this 3D printing project for Lego storage. You can see that. later. Anyway, if you like that, maybe give it a like. Thank you for watching, and take it easy.